So, retail isn't just a stepping stone, it can be a thriving career. And in this episode, we're going to explore how retailers can shift mindsets, build training pathways, and unlock leadership potential from within. Whether you're a store manager or a head office leader, discover how investing in staff development pays off. Kia ora, I'm Carolyn Young, CEO of Retail NZ. Today I'm joined by Pippa Saxon, who's the National Account Manager with ServiceIQ. Kia ora, Pippa.
Kia ora, Carolyn. Thanks for having me.
Look, it's so great to have you here. Now, this is the first episode of a two-part series. So there is episode 1 and episode 2, but let's get started now. And tell us a little bit about how retailers can help staff see retail as a long-term career, not just a short-term job filler.
I think one of the most important things is that the retailers are telling their stories. How did they get to work in their roles? What is their history? What is their passion and what do they love about retail? The other piece, I think, is that they need to talk about the opportunities within the retail sector. Yes, you might be on the shop floor now, but where can you go? What other roles does that business have available? I think that's really, really important.
And I guess the fact that everybody starts at the beginning, right? You don't start at the end, you will start at the beginning. So even though it's the beginning space, there are lots of opportunities.
Yeah, yeah.
And that makes me think a little bit about a career pathway. And, what would a career pathway in retail look like from entry level through to leadership?
So for the career pathway, you're starting on the shop floor, then you're moving up to maybe a supervisor, then maybe a store manager. And then if the business is big enough, you might have a head office or a support office with marketing, with human resources, become a buyer. So we've got a qualification that fits along with each of those roles, from your first day on the job to an experienced retailer.
And look, one of the things that we know about retail is that you can have an accelerated leadership pathway compared to the standard sort of corporate role, right? You could be, come in as a casual or a part-timer, take a full-time role working in the store, and quite quickly you could be an assistant store manager and a store manager where you've got lots of responsibility that you wouldn't get in other roles, and it just sets you up for your future. So it's a really great opportunity to be thinking about. But I wondered, Pippa, can you share like a real example of where training helps someone grow into a leadership role or maybe improve retention for a business?
Absolutely. Yeah, again, we've got plenty of trainees who started on the shop floor. They did one of our retail savvy programs. They moved on to a New Zealand certificate in retail. And then, like you said, because there's quite a quick transition into becoming a leader, then they were moved to being a supervisor, and then we put them on to a team lead savvy, and then onto a leadership program. We've had lots of stories around people who have started on the shop floor and moved to a support office or managing the team. And when they manage the team, it's sort of because that manager has been through ServiceIQ qualifications and they value and they understand the training, it sort of just becomes what they do at that business, and you're building your own internal capability.
Yeah, look, it's so important. And I think, if they think about retailers starting fresh, what are the first 90 days of building a training pathway? And, what is the business payoff in those first 90 days?
Yeah, so the 90 days, we suggest that somebody starts on a retail savvy, and because that includes all of the foundations for starting in retail, your customer service, communication, your product knowledge. And so when you're getting a qualification for this, your confidence goes up, and then you're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm good with this. And on it goes. So yeah, once you've decided whether you're a business, what you'd like your team to do, or whether you're a trainee who would like to further their qualifications, then start on the pathway.
Look, and I think what you touched on there in terms of confidence is so important, right? We know in retail that customer service is critical to sales. And that means that you've got to be able to talk to people. And in order to be able to talk to people coming in the store, you need to be confident to do so. So I think that first step around getting some training in place and growing and gaining confidence is really important, together with what you're going to do with your staff members on a day-to-day basis. Look, thank you so much for joining us today, Pippa. It's been such a pleasure to speak to you and hear how ServiceIQ can support retail employees and businesses with training and upskilling to build a successful career in retail.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And look, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to visit www.serviceiq.org.nz to find out more. Today's episode was part of the Empowering Retail series, your go-to resource for short, actionable insights designed to take your retail business to the next level. Watch out for other episodes and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, ka kite anō. Bye for now.